Okay, I have started recording. So, in this QA course, this manual testing, we will be having a lot of discussion on manual testing because after the course, when you go for interview, they will try to verify your manual testing knowledge. They will try to verify your a lot of verification will be happening on manual testing knowledge, what you know about testing, what kind of background you have in terms of what kind of knowledge you have on the manual testing. So there will be a lot of discussion on the manual testing. There will be automation testing that we are going to learn. In automation testing specifically, we will learn a tool called Selenium using Java programming. So we'll have to learn Java programming, and using Java programming, we will do automation testing. Yeah, I'm speaking. Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Okay, hold on. Okay, 1 second. Okay, can you hear me now, guys? Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I went on mute by somehow. Okay, so sorry for the inconvenience. Now, what we are going to do in this course, right? We will learn manual testing. This manual testing is very important. This is the fundamental. This is the basics of testing. When you go for interview, right? When you go for interview, they will be asking a lot of question in terms of manual testing. So let me tell you one thing here. Let me pause. In testing software, right? We will do a lot of discussion in this manual testing part, and it is a building block. You can say that this is the foundation of your career. This manual testing discussion. Okay, so we will discuss a lot how software development works, how software testing works, right? What are the process, the software, that the website, let's say Facebook that you are using, Instagram you are using, wellsfargo.com you are using, right? These softwares, right? How this software works, right? We'll discuss their basic architecture. So there will be a lot of discussion in terms of to give you okay, the basics of software. Okay, and then in this automation testing part, can you see in this automation testing part, we will be learning what is called let me bring the document, syllabus document, 1 second. Syllabus. So in this automation testing part, we are going to learn Java programming, and we will be learning automation in terms of in terms of uh, Java programming, and the automation, what automation does, right? What automation does, like if you test a software application manually, right? If you test a software application manually, what you will do, you will sit behind your computer, right? And then okay, you will make sure that okay, login works. You will make sure that you can view the statement. You will make sure that the software, if you have a print statement, the print functionality works. The software tester main functionality is the functionality that developers are developing, right? You make sure that this functionality are working as expected. That is the main functionality of software testing. Manual testers, they sit behind your computer, behind the computer, and then they manually test it. Automation testing, they are also doing testing, but they will be writing code to do this testing. Whatever manual testers does manually, automation testers will be writing Java code or C code, or different, there are different computer programming language. They'll be writing code using programming to do the testing. So that software testing, manual testing or automation testing, it is very expensive. Software, if you want to hire a manual tester, it is expensive. So automation tester, what they do, they write code so that automatically testing happens. A manual tester is not needed. the code will be doing the testing. So that is what automation testing does, and we will learn Java programming and Selenium automation in this course, as a part of this course, as a bigger part. Like this manual testing, we will spend a lot of time. This automation testing, Java programming and automation testing, we will be spending a lot of time. This performance testing, we will only have introductory discussion. What is performance testing, right? What do they do in performance testing? That kind of discussion. There will be no practical from performance testing, right? So you can see, guys, that there are a lot of manual testing jobs. A lot of people work as a manual tester. There are huge number of automation testing job. They are a little bit skilled tester than manual testing. Okay, these automation testers are a little bit skilled. A little bit means a lot of more. Automation testers has a lot of more skill than manual testers, right? They write code to do the testing. So this is part of our course. We will only learn few basics about performance testing, right? Performance testing, let me give you a little bit introduction. Performance testing, in performance testing, what it does basically is, let's say that Facebook.com, millions of people around the world are using Facebook at the moment, but you might see that Facebook is pretty fast. It is not slow, right? In performance testing, right, let's say Facebook, if you check right now in the Facebook, probably they have a system in the Facebook center. Okay, how many people at the moment using Facebook, right? They might get, okay, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. So they make sure that before they put it for the user, they test this software with 5 million people to make sure that this software is capable of handling 5 million people. So that is what we do in performance testing, right? Manual testing, we do click, 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 test manually. Automation testing, we do click, 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 testing again with code, Java code or C code or VB scripting, right? We do it by code. Performance testing, we apply load. 500 users, 5,000 users, 500,000 users, 5 million users. We put it in the system, and these users does, different business functionality, and the software team made sure that with 5 million people, the software is capable of working good. It is not slowing down, it is not going down, it is not showing page not available, that kind of thing we made sure in performance testing. Okay, now if you can learn any of this testing good, right, there are a lot of job opportunity here in the United States and across all over the world. Now, so in manual testing, what we are going to discuss, as I said, a lot of things from manual testing. And remember that, as I said previously, that our like a couple of months or 3 months, we might be having 2 hours, 2.5 hours session, and after that this session might be going to 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Sometimes my sessions goes to 4 hours, 4.5 hours. Okay, so if you have any kind of like, let's say that you have to leave, okay, you have something, some other things to take care, make sure that you are leaving on time, so that if you drive, you don't have to drive first, you are safe. If you have to leave, feel free to leave, and as I said, I'll be recording the session, you can come and take a look. So in that time, like some of the sessions might be unscheduled, it will be going over our expected time limit, but in this case, if you have to leave, feel free to leave, so that you are safe in every square. So now in manual testing, right, there will be software development life cycle, how software development works. Okay, and then there are different software development methodology, right? This methodology, agile, waterfall, agile, scrum, we will be learning a lot of things about this software development methodology. Okay, what is the role of business analyst, what is the business requirement document, business requirement in software development, right? We will be learning a lot of these things. In this, all of these are manual testing terminology. There are so many types of testing. There are so many types of testing. We will be learning what are all of those different kind of testing, and then we will learn what is use case, right? What is test case, what is test plan. Okay, we will be writing a test plan, sample test plan. We will be writing, we will be targeting to write 100 test cases from sample applications, right? Test cases, remember this word, test case, remember this word, test case. Testers, whatever, manual testers, automation tester, performance tester, all of the testers works with test case. So, and if you work as a tester, you will be writing a lot of it is a bread and butter of your life. You will be writing a lot of test cases. Okay, and then what is software build, right? What are different kind of environment in software development? We will be learning about this. What is test execution? We will be learning a lot of thing about this. And then we will be learning a little bit about Jira. We will be learning, this is a manual testing tools, project management tool. This is another tool, ALM, application lifecycle management, another tool. We will be learning a lot of thing about this ALM tool. Okay, and then what is software defect? We'll be learning a lot of thing about defect. Let's say you are testing an application, okay, a software application. We'll be talking a lot of thing about application. When I talk about application, right, application means it is something like Facebook, it is something like wellsfargo.com, it is something like instagram.com, it is something like a mobile application. You use a lot of thing in mobile application, right? Application, when I'm talking about application, it is a software product, it is a software application, remember. Okay, when you test an application, now when I'm talking about application, what is application? Software application. Now, so when you test a software, if a functionality is not working, then you will be reporting defect or bug. Remember this word, defect or bug. Defect or bug, what is defect or bug? When you are testing a software, if some functionality is not working, then you are going to report a defect on this problem. You are going to say, okay, this is the functionality I'm trying to test, it is not working. What is the problem? When I'm clicking on this button, it's supposed to be giving me this, but it is not giving me this. And then you will be assigning it to a developers who have developed this, and they will be fixing it if it is a bug, and they will say, hey, it is fixed, can you test it again? So that kind of thing. Defect, you will be learning a lot of thing about defects, how you report defects. Okay, get introduced with different defect tracking tools. Okay, and then one of the key thing, database, right? Oracle database. You will be learning from the beginning. You will be learning a lot of database, Oracle database. That database is important in terms of testers, right? The testers, if you even work as a manual tester, you will have to use Oracle or SQL for executing query to test different things in the backend. We are going to discuss a lot why this database is needed. We will be learning a lot of things. Okay, so in manual testing, basically that is what we are going to discuss. There might be a few other things that will be coming in time to time in our discussion. Okay, and then there will be a lot of manual testing interview questions that we are going to learn. So I have few websites where you know, where we have all of my discussions. This is one of my website where you will get a lot of my class discussions, and you know, I have my channel. I have my YouTube channel that I'll be giving you where you will get basically my class discussion. So if you type QA eLearn, so if you type QA questions, right, this is my website where this is a secure website, so you can safely visit it. There are a lot of things that you will be getting here in terms of different discussions that I'm doing here, and then I have this channel, right, QA eLearn, where you will get all of my videos basically. So here you will see that if you go to the playlist, then you will get all kind of videos that I have uploaded. In so all of these videos are software testing related. You will get it here, and you know, our all of our discussion I'll be uploading here, and I'll be sharing link with you. All right, so now let's come back to this discussion. This automation testing, right, this performance testing we have just defined. Manual testing, that does click 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 and test it. In automation testing, right, you know, manual testing procedures we automate it by code. UFT, Selenium, there are tools, Selenium, UFT, unified functional testing, right? By using this tool we automate the manual testing. In performance testing we apply load to the system, right? Key tool that we use is load runner to apply load into the softwares. Okay, now, so this is what syllabus is. Now, as I said, this course will be 1 year from, we have started from July 11th, 2020. Our expectation this course will be done by July 11th, 2021. Now, you have 2 months from now. You have 2 months to decide if you are, like, let's say after 2 months you figure out that okay, this is not suitable course for you. You are, you know, you are, feel free to drop out. You can discuss with me, okay, what are the difficulties you are facing, or okay, if you do not see any prospect, if you have paid any money in the meantime to me, I'll be refunding it. But you have 2 months. You have July, August to decide if you are continuing with this course, right? If it is a suitable career path for you. In the meantime, like within these 2 months, you will see that we have a lot of discussions. And as I said, there are good time, there are bad time in this course, right? I frequently give an example to my son that okay, there are there are some, all of you know laugas, right? There are some laupata is growing in our garden. So if you bring some laupata, if you blend it and if you take the fluid out, if I ask you to drink it, how will you feel? He said it will be very bitter, impossible to drink, right? I told him sometimes study will feel like this. Okay, sometimes study will feel like this. So but still you will have to do it, you will have to earn it. Okay, you will have to, like, the good thing is study is sometimes you will feel difficult, but when we studied back home in Bangladesh, like we have to go to library for books. Okay, we have to copy few pages from the books. But at this point there are so many things in the internet, like let's say you are not studying, you are not understanding test plan, right? For example, test case you do not understand, but even in YouTube you will have so many help, right? If you can, like, the problem is nowadays people are so much busy with so many things, they do not have time to research, research and learn. So that's why I'm here. I'll try to make it easier for you, but still if you are having difficulties, there are so many things in the internet. If you search for okay, how to write test plan, what is test plan, if you write okay, what is automation testing, how can I learn Selenium, there are so many help available. Only thing is, do I have enough time to watch it? This is the problem. Okay, but there are a lot of help available. Even, trust me, this, when I work in practical life, right, when I work, I do a lot of things I do not memorize. I Google, and whenever I feel difficulties on something, I Google, I get it. One other thing that I would encourage you, every one of you, learn or make yourself familiar with Google, how you can Google things and get it out, get things out. Whatever you need out, you Google it, and you can earn this knowledge from Google. So Googling efficiently is a very good thing that you will have to do in this course. Throughout, if you work in IT, Googling is the thing that every day we do for a lot of issues. That is what I'll ask you. Like everything you do Google, a lot of Google. What is, like, if you have any difficult, like, I will be explaining things in a certain way. If you want to understand more, Google it. Okay, what is that software development life cycle? How can I, if you go to YouTube, okay, understand software development life cycle, right? You'll get a lot of things, right? So basically, try to understand things. This 1 year is a time that could change your life, like how you will be leading your remaining life. So use it as a that type of experiment. You learn it from Google, you learn it from different ways, so that you can talk when you are talking to the people in the interview. You can talk, you can explain a thing from different perspectives. Okay, so what I was telling, like, in this study sometimes you will feel, okay, it is difficult, I am getting difficulties in understanding. I'll be here if you on a particular specific, if you are getting difficulties, I lot of time I discuss same things multiple times for your understanding, right? But still, right, sometimes it will feel, okay, I am drinking laupata, juice from laupata, so you'll feel like that. But do not give up. If you are in that type of situation, the only thing I will say, right, software testing is not rocket science. It is a lot of less than average people are doing software testing, right? I believe all of you are extraordinary. That is my understanding, right? So so okay, so it is not math, but when you are going to do Java programming, right, programming is kind of math. There are, it is not completely math there, but there are few things that will appear as mathematics. There are few things, but it is, if you have studied mathematics on your school, right, like if you are like all of you, I understand that you have studied mathematics. If you understand a few mathematics, it should be okay for you, but there are few math like things in programming. Yeah, but I hope that it will be okay for you now. So if you are in that kind of, like, if you take a look, like, you know, I some of the topics I know you will struggle to understand. Those topics I will be explaining multiple times. And still, if you are feeling difficulties, there are a lot of ways in the internet to learn it in different ways from different teachers. So you will be taking those opportunities. Okay, now, so having said that, right, this is pretty much like, okay, what is the background of this course, right? I gave you, okay, this is how it works, this is what you need to learn, and what it will happen if I learn it. Yeah, it will give you a decent career. You'll be able to have your family life, you'll be able to have a decent IT career, right? But in between there are struggles, there are difficulties. If you can overcome this, you'll be able to get a job. Now with that, let me go to, I have discussed the QS syllabus that we are going to cover, right? Now let me go to a specific discussion that how this software development works. Okay, how this software development works, that is what we are going to discuss today. So let's say that Georgia state, the state where I am living, most of you are living, they need a software. Let's say that they need a website. For example, they need a website where if people have coronavirus, they'll be able to go there, right? And they'll be able to, okay, I have coronavirus, I need help. This is a state website. So let's say Georgia state is planning to open a website where people will be able to go and they will be able to say, I have coronavirus, I need help. That's a simple functionality. Now, Georgia state is the business. They need the software. State, most of the state might not have that much big IT industry or IT team. So what they might do, they might go to a specific, like all of these states or big business, they work with software firms, right? as a vendor. They will be going to a vendor or a software development company, or let's say that IBM is a big software development company. IBM, okay? So they'll be going to IBM, okay, we need this software. We need this software in 6 months, we need to have it. Will you be able to develop this software for us? Okay. From IBM, right? Obviously, there will be some contractual activities will happen. Okay, there will be signings from all kind of team. Okay, we are going to do this. There will be financial matter; those will be settled out. Okay, then from IBM company, can you see BA, business analyst? Guys, can you see this BA term, BA, business analyst? So there are few people in the IT industry whom we are calling business analyst. Business analyst, sometimes we call them system analyst. Okay, business analyst or system analyst. They, every industry, every software industry, they have business analyst or business intelligence people, right? So BI, sometimes we call business intelligence people, sometimes business analyst, sometimes system analyst. So this team will sit with, like Georgia State again, they have some people who knows what they need, right? If you go to government camp, like our governor camp, to collect this requirement, probably he will not be able to, he is not a good person to give you this requirement, right? So he has specific department who is dealing, okay, we need this software to track coronavirus thing, right? So over there, they have some people who are knowledgeable about this software that they are looking for. So from IBM, this business analyst will be sitting with experts from Georgia State to collect the requirements. To collect the requirements, like, sir, what do you need? What kind of functionalities you are looking into this software, right? How many people will be using this software, right? So that kind of, what is your expectation in terms of, okay, speed? All kind of information will be collected by IBM, and the specific people who will be collecting this information and document it, we are calling them as BA, business analyst. So business analyst will be collecting the requirement of the software and document it, right? And they will be preparing a document that we are calling BRD, that we are calling the business analyst. They collect the requirement and then they prepare BRD, that is business requirement document. It is a brief document with the requirement of the software. And from the BRD, they will be preparing FRD and use cases. FRD, functional requirement document. Use cases, it is a graphical representation of the requirement. Graphical representation of the requirement is the use cases. Now, up to this, okay? So Georgia State need a software. They went to IBM to get this software developed. From IBM, they have business analyst, BAs, or system analyst or business intelligence people who sits with experts from Georgia State to collect the requirement. They collect the requirement, they prepare a brief document which we are calling business requirement document, and later on they elaborate the business requirement document. They elaborate the functionality in the business requirement document, and they prepare functional requirement document and use cases. Use cases are the graphical representation of requirements. Graphical representation of the requirements or functionalities. Okay, up to this, do you have any question? Okay, very good, very good. So if I ask you, someone to explain that, okay, up to this, will you be able to explain it? Please go ahead. Mhm. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Use cases, absolutely. So that business requirement document. From the business requirement document, they elaborate it, make it functional requirement document, and use cases. Use cases are the graphical representation of the functionalities representation. We will be learning more about use cases and stuff. We will look like we do not develop the as a tester, we do not develop the BRD, right? But we will work with BRD. So you will see how this BRD is related to our work as a tester now. Okay, so if you take a look, when that BRD, FRD use cases, these documents are ready, right? From there, these documents go to two types of people. These documents go to two types of people. One is software development team, another one is software QA team. Okay, this requirement goes to two types of people: software development team and software QA team. Okay, now, so software development team, when they like again, the software development team, QA team, both of these are inside IBM. IBM has a business analyst team. IBM has a software development team. IBM has a software QA team. Okay. Now, once these documents are ready, this goes to software development team and software quality assurance team. So software development team basically, let's say that if you need a, like in Bangladesh or in USA, if you need a building, right, then you go to a civil engineer. The civil engineer, what they do, they collect your requirement. Okay, how many stories you want, how many, what is the square footage, what is your land's dimension, like they collect all of this and they create a design. And once the design is there, then the machinery people, they follow this design and build the architecture, right? Similarly, software development team, when they get the requirement, right, they prepare their technical design document, right? Technical design document, they prepare the technical design document, and once their technical design is done, they starts writing code. They starts writing code to develop the software. Now, what is that code? What is that code? Okay, what is that code? Now, if you come back here, what is the code? Let me show you an example. For example, if you come here, qaquestions.org, and then if you say, if you go to that login page, for example, here you will get a page where you will be able to input your user ID, password, and then you will be able to log in. Now in this particular page, if you right click, right, can you see there is a inspect, or can you see there is a view page source? Can you see this view page source? You click on that, and now you will see that this particular page, to develop that particular page, what kind of code is needed. Can you see all of this messy thing here, right? Easy. Let's say you go to a restaurant, everything is very shiny outside in the sitting area, but if you go to the kitchen, right, it is like kitchen. Yeah. So all of this code basically is forming, all of this code that you are seeing, the programmers have written all of this code, and then you can, by this code, you can see this particular page, this beautiful, all of these beautiful pages. But what is behind the scene? Behind the scene is all of this code. That is what the software developers write. This is HTML. Remember, what is this? HTML. Now, HTML hypertext markup language, this is a web language. Now, what is this language, right? So let's say that if you want to talk to someone from Russia, if they do not know English, you have to talk to them in their language, right? If you want to talk to someone from Mexico, if they do not know English, you have to speak to them using Spanish, right? If you want to talk to a dog, you have to use their language, right? So if you want to talk to computer, you have to use computer language, otherwise computer will not understand. So that is what computer language is. If you want to talk to computer, if you want to instruct computer, you have to talk to him by using its language. Computer language is Java, C, Python, Ruby, HTML, right? Head of, there are a lot of language computer understands. So if you want to give an instruction to the computer, then you have to give using computer's language. That is what we are calling programming language. And as you can see, this beautiful page behind the scene, this page was designed by all of these codes. Luckily, we do not have to write all of this code. As a software tester, we do not have to write this software code. We do not have to understand their software code, software programming. We do not have to understand how they have written the code, right? We do not have to understand their code. What we have to do, right, as a software tester, we will get this URL. We will be coming here. In the URL, we will be clicking on this login, and they will be giving us these users. We do not have to create these users. They'll be giving us this test user. We have to input this test user, and we'll have to make sure that if we are inputting correct user, then it is able to log in. If we are inputting an incorrect user, we have to make sure that it displays appropriate error message. Okay, so let's say that if you input an incorrect password, then we have to make sure that it displays appropriate error message. Probably this here we do not have this error message, but let's say if you go to a specific website, right, salesforce.com, right, if you come here, you click on login, you come here, you input a user ID, you input a password, right, you click on login. If your user ID and password is good, it will take you to the corresponding page. If your password and user ID is not good, you have to make sure that this error message is appearing, right? So that kind of we do not have to understand what is behind the scene. We cannot probably view the code for this. There might be it might be restricted. Let me see. Okay, so here there is another way. If you press F12, right, or if your Google browser, if you click here, and then if you can you see this more tools, and then can you see this developer tools? So by going there, you will be able to see the code, right? You do not have to understand the code. The only thing is, by the code whatever is being developed, we have to make sure that these functionalities are working. Okay, now let's go back. So let's come back to our discussion. So software developer, they writes code. They write code. And what is code? Code is what you have seen, those, you know, specific language, right? Now computer only understand this language, right? Computer will understand only programming language. If you want to instruct computer, you'll have to use programming language. Luckily, our developer friends, they write the code and we test it. Now, so when this BRD is ready, then it goes to two types of people. Software developers, they start creating their design, right? And then they write code, right? So the way it works, let's say that a big software, They do not develop the whole thing at a time. They develop module by module, right? So we'll see, like in the software development methodology, how different methodology works. But so while software developers, they are doing technical design and develop software, we, the testing people, right, what we do, we create with that requirement document, right, we analyze the requirement document and we create test plan and we write test cases. Okay, we study this requirement document, right? Luckily this requirement document is written in English, plain English, not programmers computer language. So we study the requirement document, we understand, okay, these are the functionalities, and also for us, right, to write the test cases, we set up meetings, like I'm discussing with you. We set up meetings with the BAs to understand more about the requirement document. The BA gave us a total walkthrough on the requirements. If we have a specific question, we set up a call with corresponding BA. Hey, this functionality, I'm not clear. Can you give me more information? Then they will explain more. Okay, we set up multiple sessions with these BA guys to understand the business requirement document so that we can write our test cases. We can write our test plan. Test plan, right? Test plan. What is test plan? We will see test plan. We will write a sample test plan as a part of this course. Okay, we will see a sample business requirement document as well. And what is test cases? We will write a lot of test cases, and you will see that we are from the, by reading the requirement, we will be writing a lot of test cases. Jima? So here we will be by understanding the requirement document, by understanding the requirements, we will be writing our test plan, we will be writing our test cases, we will be writing a lot of test cases. And while one thing we'll have to make sure, while writing test cases, we'll have to make sure that the requirement the requirement is totally covered. We cannot miss any requirement. We cannot miss any requirement. We have to make sure that we are covering every inches of the requirement, so that while we are testing the application, all part of the application is properly tested. That is what we have to make sure as a tester. Now, so as a part of this course, as I said, we will be writing our test plans, we will be writing our test cases, right? A lot of test cases. And now note this word. When a significant part of the, like let's say this software, does that software, if it has 4 module of the software, let's say customer service module, transaction module, and then it has 2 other module, right? So they might not be building the whole software at a time. They will build part of the software. When a significant portion of the software is developed by the developers, they will be putting it for testing. They will be giving you they will be giving you a URL, right? Like let's say if it is Facebook, right? There will be URL test.facebook.com. There are always that kind of test.facebook.com, qa.facebook.com, right? That kind of URL for testing. So there you will get a URL like this, where you will be able to navigate and you will be able to test this functionality, right? So when a significant portion of the software is built, then how it comes to you for testing, you do not have to be worried. There are people who will be putting it in a particular URL like this, whatever test software you are testing, they'll be putting it there, and then you will be able to navigate and you will be able to test this feature. Now, so we are calling code deployment. note this word, code deployment. What is code deployment? So let me discuss a little bit more here. Up to this, are you clear? Okay, software developer, they get the requirement, they start designing uh, the thing, and they start writing code. When a significant portion is developed, right, they gave it to you for testing, and you in the meantime, while they will be developing, they will be writing code, you do your work. What work do? You create your test plan, you create your test cases, okay, you create your test plan, you create your test cases, and you make sure that before they deploy the code, right, before they deploy the code, you are ready for testing. So when they are deploying the code, in the meantime, you have already written the test plan. You have already, test cases means the checkpoints, what you are going to test, right? You have already written all of the checkpoints. So they will say, okay, this functionality we have developed, right? You can test. So you see, for this functionality, what test cases you have written, you execute these test cases accordingly, right? And you test the application. Now I'm coming back to this code deployment. Okay, now before I come to this code deployment, let me show you one thing. So if you take a look here, let me bring a sample test case. Okay, let me see what is that test case. Okay, so as a software tester, you will be reading each of the chapter of the requirement document, business requirement document, FRD, right? And then from each of the chapter, you will be preparing your test cases. Now, when you prepare your test cases, remember, what is the basis of your test cases? The basis your test cases are the requirement document. You understand the requirement and you write your test cases to test this functionality. So let's say that, as a simple example, this is a little bit bigger, but let's say that you are testing Bank of America application, right? This is a sample test case. Remember, this is a test case. It has, okay, this is the test case number, what is the system, right? What is the, who is the client, and test scenario, what is the scenario that you are testing. And then can you see steps? Note this column header, steps, procedure or action, expected results, right? Pass or fail, and if there is any defect that you have to report, defect details. Now, so step number, and then action. What is the action? Go to bankofamerica.com. Page will be loaded, logo will be displayed. Make sure that the page is loaded. What is the checkpoint, right? So remember, as a tester, you will be writing these test cases by reading the requirement document, and a sample test case that I'm presenting here, right? And then examine the following item in the login screen. Make sure that this item is present. Okay, then you come here, step 3, type a online ID and press sign in button, right? It will direct you to the members homepage. So if you type online ID, right? If you type online ID, it will take you to the, let's say that you type a valid user ID and password, and it will take you to your homepage, right? So here you will see that after that we have some other functionality that we have tested. This is one of the sample test case that you will be writing as a manual tester. If you work as a manual tester, you will be reading the requirement document, you will be writing the test cases, and once application is given for you to test, you will be executing each of this step in the tool. There are tool where you will have this step, and you will be marking each of this step as a pass or fail. Okay, if a particular step is failed, then you will have to report a defect. Okay, this functionality didn't work for me. I was expecting this, I got this, here is the screenshot, and you'll be giving defect number. We'll be learning all of these things, but this is a sample test case. Let me bring another sample test case. Now, let's say I have a class sample test case. Let me bring this sample test case here. Okay, so Yahoo Mail. If your activity, if your task is to test Yahoo Mail, depending on the requirement, you will be writing test cases, right? And can you see again these test cases, right? These test cases are different organization. They follow different formats, but core thing is you will be testing the functionality. You will have again step description or action and your expected result. If it is failing, what is the actual output, right? If it is passed or failed, you update the status here, your remarks here. If something is failing, you put a remark here. Okay, so we will be writing the test case basically unless it is a very small organization. If it's a very small organization, when I came to this country, I started my internship with a small firms, right? A small software firm where we have 10-15 people. We used to sit in a warehouse, right? In 2013, I'm talking about it. Like it was in Midtown, Cheshire Bridge Road. So there was a small firm where I had started an internship there. So there were a warehouse type building, and over there in a big place there were circular table, we were sitting all people, and over there they were writing their test cases in Excel. But I haven't seen any other organization who is using Excel or Word to write their test case. They use online tool ALM, Jira to write their test case. Over there you will have this table created, you will be writing your steps basically. Okay, open browser, navigate to this, right? Verify that Yahoo logo will be displayed. Okay, input email address in the text box, right? And click next, right? If you want to log in Yahoo Mail, right, you input your email ID and then click next, then you will get the password text box. So when you click on when you input your email ID and click next, then password text box will be displayed, right? Input password and click sign in. Inbox link will appear, right? And then type an email address as a part of the test case, right? When you log in, when you type an email address and search, corresponding emails will appear, right? So that is like, I'll not go any further details about test cases, but if you work as a tester, your everyday job will be to study requirement document and to write test case so that you can test this requirement. And when you are writing test case, you have to make sure that each and every requirements you are covering. Your test cases are covering every requirement. You write a small test case to test each of the functionality. And when the application is deployed, the developers are done developing, they will be giving you the URL. Hey, you can go to this URL to test this application, and whatever functionality they have developed, you will be testing this functionality. Okay, up to this, do you have any question? Very good, very good. Thank you for your feedback. Now, let me come back to this other document. Okay, so let me come back to this code deployment. So remember this term that I'm discussing, right? When you talk to, like when you will be interviewing, you will have to use this terminology, code deployment. What is code deployment, right? Now, so guys, if you go to facebook.com, you go to Facebook from your laptop or from your mobile device, is that correct? Okay, and then when you log into Facebook, you are able to see whatever photos you have uploaded, whatever status you have put. You can see your friends statuses, right? So it is basically if you upload a photo, it is there, it will be there for you to, for others to see, for you to see. Even if you have uploaded something before 10 years, it is still there, right? Now, so from your laptop or from your mobile device, you log in. Do you think these photos, these statuses, your friends' video, those are stored in your mobile? Do you think that those are stored in your mobile or somewhere else? Somewhere else, okay? Now, so this mobile or this laptop from where you are accessing Facebook is the client, is the client. And client basically access all of this content from Facebook servers. Now, servers, remember this word, servers. Now, yeah, server. Now, all of these applications, that we are using, application means this web application, all of this application that we are accessing from our mobile device or from computer, all of these applications, you are able to access this application because some hardworking servers from somewhere around the world, they are keeping this application, they are keeping this content available for you. They are constantly running this program, this Facebook program, these servers, they are constantly running this Facebook website from somewhere in San Francisco or somewhere in the world, right? They are constantly running this Facebook software so that even if you use it or not, over there, these servers are working 24/7 to give you service, to make sure that the application is available. And then for this server, there are backup servers. If some servers fails, backup servers will be automatically started to give you the service. Right? Now, so you understand that there are servers running 24/7 to give us the Facebook service. The program is running there 24/7 from the servers, right? Now, so these servers are called production servers. Production servers from where we are accessing Facebook. These servers are called production server from where we are accessing Facebook. Now, the software goes to this production server after a lot of validation and verification. Trust me, before a software goes to production, there are so many things happens in the background to make sure that all of the functionalities are working. When users are getting the product, it is basically a finished product. And before that, a lot of things happens. The developers, right? The developers, they use laptop like this. So like the laptop that we are using. The developers write their code by using the laptop that we are using. So when they write the code, like as I said, production environment, you understand what is production environment. When the software is in production, when users are using the software, when actual users are using the software, when customers are using the software, then it is in the production. The production set of servers, there are huge servers where the software is running 24/7 and people are able to use it. Before that, the developers, when the developers develop the software, they call it dev environment. So for the developers to use some server, they have some servers by using like they write the software code in their computer, but to deploy, like to test the software, you have to deploy it to the server. A software cannot be running without a server. So when the developers, they develop the software, they have a set of servers from where they run it and make sure that their code is working. They develop the code in the laptop and deploy it to the server. Remember this deployment, code deployment. They write the code in their local computer, local laptop, and then deploy it to the server. Deploy it to the server to make sure that the functionalities are working. So development environment. Now you have heard about development environment. You have heard about production environment, right? These two types of environment. In the development environment, again, what is development environment? Servers. The developers develop the software using development environment. And what is development environment? Development environments are set of servers, computer servers, right? Computer servers to run the software in the development while it is in the development. And when I'm saying software servers, right? When I'm saying software servers, servers are again computers. Same computer that we are using, but remember, if you go there in your computer, right? If you go there in your computer and let's say that, let me go there in my desktop. Okay. Now if you come here, all of you have this window probably in your computer. So here, if you go there, computer, this PC, right? If you right click here and go to properties, this is taking a little bit time, right? This is a laptop. You'll be able to see what operating system is here. Can you see Windows 10 Home? This is the operating system that is running this computer hardware to give me this beautiful screen here, right? So Windows 10 is the operating system that is running the computer. Okay, now this Windows 10 is the operating system. Then you will be able to see, okay, I have 12 gigabyte of RAM in this computer, right? 12 gigabyte of RAM. I have a i7 processor with 1.8 gigahertz speed, right? Can you see Intel Core i7 processor? And then this is a 64-bit operating system, all kind of information. Now this is a client computer. This is not a server. If it is server, if you come to this window, you will see Windows Server operating system. It will specifically say Windows 2012 R2 server or Windows 2016 R2 servers. There are at the moment, I think there are 2016 servers operating system. There are 2012 R2 server operating system. There are when we look at the servers in our office space, we see different kind of servers. Okay, now in the server, again there are operating system. Here it is Windows 10. In the servers, it is Windows Server operating, a different operating system. It looks like similar, but functionality is a little bit different. It looks like similar, and on top of that, there are Linux server, there are Unix server. Remember, this Windows operating system, this Windows, you have to buy licenses. Licenses are pretty expensive. But if you use Unix operating system in the same hardware, I can use instead of Windows operating system, this Windows operating system, right? Like it is expensive. You have to spend money to get Windows operating system. But if you use Linux, there are Linux operating system, Unix operating system. Those are free, but those are a little bit difficult to use. So a lot of companies, they use Linux server, Windows in Unix server to minimize the cost. Okay, now let's come back. So these servers, right? Again, we have these two types of environment that we have learned. One is development environment, another one is production environment. Production environment is a set of servers. Those are continuously working to give us the software, to give us the service of the software. They are continuously, the software is running there. When we are going to www.facebook.com from the computer browser, we are basically sending a request to those production server, hey, give me my content, and you see your content, your friends content, all of the contents are basically stored there in those big servers, and you get it from there. If the contents are gone, like if you burn all of the servers of the world, Facebook servers, then all of the content will be gone. You will no longer be able to access it. Everything will be lost, right? Remember, you have a hard drive in your computer. Inside each of the laptop there is a hard drive, HDD, hard disk drive, where you save all of your photos. If that hard drive is damaged, then all of your photos are gone. Similarly, in those big servers over there, they have big hard drives, like thousands, millions of terabyte hard drives are there to store your data. Got it? So these two types of environment: development environment, developers is a set of servers. Those developers develop their software. Production environment is a set of servers which production environment is a set of servers which is being used to run the software so that people can use it. Then you come to the next step. When developers are developing the software, they use development environment. When developers are developing the software, they use development environment, right? Development environment. And then for us to test this software, we do not go to development environment to test it. So when they have a significant amount of code is developed, significant amount of functionalities are developed, again everything is planned. Project, there are PM, there are people called project manager. The responsibility of the PM or project manager, they plan the development. They create a whole plan saying, okay, we are going to develop from this requirement to this requirement in this 2 months, and then when this part is done, is tested, then we will develop from these requirements to that requirements in that 2 months. They create an overall plan, a total plan of the process, and then according to the plan the development happens. Okay, now so let's say that a significant amount of significant amount of functionalities are developed, right? Then it will be going to the testers for testing. Now, testers will not go to the development environment to test it. Testers will not go to the production environment to test it. They will neither go to development environment, they will not go to production environment to test the software. So how will this test the software? When a significant amount of code is developed, there are people, sometimes we call them operations people. They take the developed code from the developer or from the development environment, and they deploy this code to the test environment. Again, test environment is again a set of servers. Again, test environment is a set of servers where testers, when they type test.facebook.com, or let's say if you consider Wells Fargo, test.wellsfargo.com, similar, something like this. When they type this, they will be able to access the software that is under developed, and it is deployed in the test environment for the testers to test it. So now we have another environment, right? Development environment, test environment, production environment, right? In the test environment, the testers will get the software, they will get the user ID, passwords, all kind of whatever they need, right? Whatever they need to test the software, it will be provided to them. Now they will be testing the software. They'll be testing the software from A to Z, all of the features, right? If there is any spelling mistake, if the functionality is not working, they will be testing, they will be reporting defect. Now, when they will be testing, what is their baseline? What, like, you cannot go to the application and test it out of your brain. They will be testing by following some document. What will they follow when they test the software? Requirement document, right? But they have already written test cases, right? Remember, I have shown you a few test cases. They have already written test cases by following the requirement document, right? They have, after creating the test cases, they have given walkthrough to the PMs, project managers, to the developers. Hey, that is how they have created a test plan. In the meantime, they have already discussed this test plan, this test cases. Hey, to make sure that we are testing properly, we have created this test plan, we have created this test cases, right? They also, you know, set up a few calls with corresponding people to ensure them that, okay, we are prepared. And then once the code is deployed in the test environment, what they do, they test the application according to the requirement and according to the test cases they have written. They follow the test cases and they test the software. If there is any problem, if the functionality is not working, there will be, if the functionality, when I'm saying functionality is not working, that means defect or bug, right? That means it is, you have to create a defect. And what is the situation? Functionality is not working. How do you know functionality is not working? Because it is not matching with the requirement. Whatever requirement is there, the functionality is not developed according to the requirement, then you report defect, right? So now you understand these three kind of environments: this development environments, this test environment, this production environment, right? So basically these are servers. These are set of servers. By using, developers develop the software. By using testers, test the software, access the software. And like when you use the software, it is in the production environment, in the production set of servers. When testers test the software, when it is in the, this software is in the test environment, in the test set of servers. When developers develop the software, they write the code, but to see the application in action, remember, to see the application in action, they have to deploy this code in the development environment, in the development servers. Otherwise they will not be able to see the functionality in action. Now so this software, right, in the process of being developed, it goes to a lot of phase: development phase, testing phase, performance testing phase, and then it goes to the production, right? Now let me go back to that document. So here, right, the developers, they develop the, like, this BRD. The BRD is ready, then it goes to the software development team, then it goes to the software testing team, right? Software development team, they do the design, they start writing code. When a significant portion of the software is developed, this goes to the software testers. Software testers, according to the test cases, they do the testing. But for them to do the testing, the code will have to be deployed in the test environment. You understand now what is code deployment, right? Guys, code deployment, you understand what is code deployment? Yeah, code deployment is basically when the code is ready from the development end, there are configuration team or operations team, they take the code and deploy it in the testing servers, right? The code is working in the development team, they take the copy of the code, put it in the testing servers, and the testers are able to access the software. Now you come here, we have already discussed this dev environment where programmer write code, QA environment or test environment where testing performed against the requirements, right? Pre-production environment, There are another environment that we haven't talked. We have talked about production from where the general users access the application. Pre-production environment, remember I said, let's say that Facebook, uh, they have to make sure that the application is able to handle 5 million people, right? So to make sure to do this performance testing, they build an environment similar to production environment, a big environment, a big set of software, and then they deploy the code in that big set of software, and then that is what we are calling UAT or pre-production environment. In this environment, normally we do performance testing. We fail the software before it goes to production. Okay, how will it behave in the production? And can you see UAT? UAT means user acceptance testing. General user, right? The software will be tested from general user perspective. Okay, how user will feel, right? The user acceptance testing, performance testing happens in the pre-production environment. So dev environment, QA environment, pre-production environment where performance testing happens for load type of behavior to measure the load type of behavior of the application, and then the application goes to the production. Any question up to this, guys? Charmaine? No, QA will not deploy the code. QA will get the code deployed in the test environment. There are team which we are calling configuration team or operations team who will be deploy the code in the test environment for the QA people to test it. Yeah, there are separate teams. Sometimes they will call it configuration team, sometimes they will call it operations team. Nowadays there are automated tools. There are automated tools that you will discuss in the future. CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development. Those at a certain date, that tool will take the code from a particular place and will deploy it to the test environment. There are process. Uh, for them, like as I said, there are configuration team. Sometimes, yeah, they have, it is a separate team. Configuration team, or you can say operations team, they will take the code and they will deploy it. There will be manager on that department as well. And as I said, mm, this deployment part, day by day it is getting automated. Day by day it is getting automated. There are few softwares which will automatically take the code and will deploy it without any human interaction. That is what we are calling continuous integration, continuous development, CI/CD. But as a tester, we do not have to do anything regarding deployment. Any further questions, Sharmin? So how about Amit, you and um, do you have any question? You understood what I'm trying to explain here clearly? Amit, you understood what we have discussed here clearly? How about Sister Tamina? Okay. Like I know that this is the first class and a lot of things we have discussed. You have to digest it. You have to do a little bit research. And if you have any of you, Jaman, any of you, if you have any question, you can email me or you can note your question, and in the next session, right, I can give further explanation of anything that you need. Okay. But this is the basics of software development. Like that is how the flow goes, that is how the method, you know, goes. This is like you have seen that in that overall process we have BRD, FRD, use cases, right, few documents. BRD, FRD use cases, technical design document, we have test plan, we have test cases, right? We have code deployment, right? Execution of test cases, a lot of thing happens, right? And then the software from the development environment, the developers develop the code by writing program, right? Q environment, we do the testing, right? With the people, we do the testing in the Q environment. Pre-production environment, we again performance testing happens, UAT testing happens. Production environment is where you access the code. Actually, users access the code. BA prepares BRD/FRD use cases based on the requirements from the business owner or a stakeholder, sends this document to the development team and QA team, right? And sequentially, you will see a few more information here. I'll be sending you this discussion. I'll be sending you the class recording. All of the information you will get. For the next session, my expectation will be I'll be sending you a scenario. Okay, prepare, write what will happen. Let's say XYZ organization need a software, right? PQR is a organization who developed the software, right? Write the sequence what will happen. You will be writing it like your activities will be to write in your language what happens in the software development phase. This will be your activity. You will be required to give me next class 5-10 minutes. I'll be trying to verify your knowledge. You'll be explaining what is BA, what is use cases, what do the developers do, what do the testers do, code deployment, how the code get deployed, what is test environment, what is QA environment, what is development environment, what is production environment, what is pre-production environment, right? And then basically that's all for today. How does it sounds to everyone? Difficult, okay. So you do your study and let's see like how it looks like next session. Should not be difficult. You revise, like you look at the document that I'm going to send, and I'm sure that you'll be able to speak a lot about it. Yeah, right, Sharmin and Amit and Jaman. Very good, very good. Now, let me show you this. All of you have Gmail. Can you type your Gmail address in this chat? I got Sharmin's Gmail. Amit, I got you. Okay, okay. Though in this case, stay safe. And again, we will talk again on this Saturday, sharp at 10 a.m. Assalamualaikum. Allah Hafiz.